Hello YouTube and welcome back to a new video with me, Rams fan YT. We are here doing a live watch along in the Iberian Derby in the World Cup. Portugal have got Ronaldo in their team, and this could potentially be his last game in the World Cup as they're up against tournament favourites Spain, two absolute heavyweights in the world of football over recent years. We all remember the World Cup in 2010 that Spain won the Euros, in 2012 that Spain won, and then in 2016 when Euros went to Portugal. So two very, very strong teams. We're going to go through the lineups. They're both operating in a 4-2-3-1. Not too many surprises there. For Portugal, they have got Diogo Costa in goal, the Porto goalkeeper. A back four, Nuno Mendes, Viega, Ruben Dias, who has have some interest over this summer window from Real Madrid, and João Cancelo. Holding midfielders, Vitinha and João Neves, and a forward attacking midfield trio of João Felix, Bruno Fernandes, and Pedro Neto. And who else but leading the line and captaining today's team but Cristiano Ronaldo. In terms of Spain, they got Unai Simon in goal, Pedro Porro Cabassi, Aymeric Laporte, and Cucurella as a back four. Pedri and Rodri will be making up the holding midfield too, with Rodri being the captain today. A forward attacking trio of Lamine Yamal, Dani Olmo, and Baena, who really impressed me in the last game up against Austria. And their talisman is Oyarzabal, who has actually had a really good scoring record for both club and country. The one-man club for Real Sociedad. The referee, well, whether you love him or you hate him, it's Anthony Taylor. Certainly, I think could be quite a balanced game in this. I think a lot of people will be tipping Spain for obvious reasons because Spain are being tipped for the tournament. My sweepstake team is currently Portugal at the moment. In terms of how I see this game going, I have gone with maybe a 2-2 draw, and you could potentially see Portugal winning on a penalty shootout. So, I certainly think in front of goal, Portugal have got a bit of a better talent, with Spain's talents lying mainly in defence. I mean, they've yet to concede a goal in this tournament, have Spain. But they, on the flip side, you could argue, haven't really been challenged yet up against some of the oppositions. You know, Cape Verde is always going to sit back. Austria couldn't really impose their game on them. The likes of a very, very weak Uruguayan side and Saudi Arabia. None of them are really similar levels of test as what this is going to be. So we're interested to see if they can keep their clean sheet record going up against the likes of João Felix, Ronaldo, Pedro Neto. Some decent options there. Obviously, it's just over a year past the passing of Diego Jota, and he, well, we all know how good he was of a player. So may he rest in peace. Always will be forever in our minds, I think, of what he could have gone on to do. So yes, Anthony Taylor leading the match officials with a combination of England and Germany in the officiating. Well, in terms of for VAR, we have got a German, a Uruguayan, and an Italian. The main one being Bastian Dankert from Germany. And in that, we are going to go through the lineups one more time, just so in case anyone did miss it at the top. Diego Costa in goal, Nuno Mendes, Viega, Ruben Dias, and João Cancelo in the defence. For the holding midfielders, you have got Vitinha and João Neves. Another João Felix, and Bruno Fernandes and Pedro Neto as a forward three, with Ronaldo being the target man up top. got the likes of Dallo, Mateus Nunes, Bernardo Silva all to come off potentially on from the bench. Decent options. Unai Simon for Spain, Marc Cucurella, Emerick Laporte, Kubasi and Pedro Porro makes up the defensive line. Captain Rodri and Pedri are the holding midfielders for you. Dani Olmo is the number 10. They've actually got it as a 4-1-2-3. Dani Olmo, Baena, Mikel Oyarzabal and Lamine Yamal are your other players making up today's list. They've also got some options: Fabian Ruiz, Gavi, Ferran Torres, and Nico Williams, all on the bench, potentially attacking options to bring on if things don't seem to be going their way. Spain in their white away kit. It's sort of a bit of an off-white, really. Roberto Martinez, I doubt, will be leading Portugal into the next World Cup, even though they are hosts. Luis de la Fuente might well be doing so. Both of these obviously hosting alongside Morocco in the 2030 World Cup. Some people are potentially speculating if Ronaldo could just push his career long enough to end his career at a home stadium of the Estadio de Luz. Is it the one which is the stadium like the one in Sporting where he started his career? I'm not too sure. Can't remember on the top of my head. But it would certainly be something if he manages to do that. Spain are going to kick us underway. They are going from left to right rather. And they've opted to keep it safe, looking to dominate possession as they've done so much throughout this tournament already. It's going to be a bit more difficult up against Portugal, but it's certainly not a task that is impossible. And it's gone all the way to Unai Simon, who is in his resplendent blue. I do really like this blue Spanish kit that they have, actually. I'm not normally a fan of goalkeeper kits, but this one is just something a bit different. Or nice. Portugal having looked like an early attack, but it very much wasn't enough pace, or a bit too much pace on the ball to be kept for a forward momentum. So it's going to be a goal kick, and it's taken to the defensive to Pedro Porro, I think it is. Downfield, and a chance early on for Lamine Yamal to have a run, but he opts to withdraw a bit from it. He's in plenty of space, Lamine Yamal. He's a right talent, and he's finally actually getting starts. He was a bit of a mute player in the group stage per se because of wanting to save him for later on in the tournament. Well, now he's coming out and we're seeing what he is all about. And a great block there by Pedro Neto, and that will be a foul up against João Neves. It was completely off the ball. João Neves was fouled by Lamine Yamal. Can't really have too many complaints. Didn't get the ball at all. We're in sunny Texas for this game, by the way. So I know both of these two teams have very similar climate conditions, and they're both used to the heat. So not much of an excuse for either team. But a long, well-directed out wide to Lamine Yamal, who can't control it, and that will be a throw-in for Portugal. That was a good ball, that, though, I must say. Interesting to see that Infantino isn't there. There's obviously been that controversy in the America versus Belgium game. A lot of people are not very happy about that, and neither am I, to be honest. That's right undermining the referees. And Spain managed to come away with it there. There was calls for a foul that easily saved, to be honest. But Oyarzabal with the shot. He saw a nice early breakthrough, but it was straight at the goalkeeper. They're coming again. Need to flee it away there, Vitinha. He eventually does, giving away a throw-in the process. And Spain have it in a great attacking position. That's not a great ball to try and find Olmo, and Portugal came away with it. But they've not kept possession for long, as Spain yet again reclaiming possession. So far, both of these two teams have been looking to stamp their authority on the game, with not quite enough headway yet. I wait again, another ball by Lamine Yamal, and it's just one of them things that they're trying things. It's early. João Neves has it now and goes with a cross-field pass, and they're opting to motor on down the right instead. Dani Olmo applying a bit of pressure there, forcing the cross-field backwards pass. A lot of the pressing from Spain is what we're going to be looking to do when out of possession. That's a beautiful ball. Oh, I can't quite control it. Nuno Mendes, the Paris Saint-Germain winger. But I like the effort. It was just his... he had a great first touch. It's just his shin on the follow-through was not great. Pedro Porro taking a throw into Dani Olmo. And Portugal are applying a bit of pressure here. We have to see if the Spanish defence is as good as people are saying that it is. Stats don't lie, but the opposition maybe does a bit. Bruno Fernandes done a great work to win his team a throw in there with his pressure. The Manchester United veteran now has spent many a year at Old Trafford. Nuno Mendes will be one to take the throw. A heavily tipped career, and hence why Ronaldo is playing more as the forward role as opposed to his traditional winger as he was younger in his younger days. Because to make way essentially for Nuno Mendes. Dani Olmo has it now in midfield. He's trying to find a pass to Lamine Yamal. Instead, he gets to Pedro Porro and gets the return. I think the Spurs player should maybe have tried to run on the turn there. I think there was potentially an option for it. He opted not to go with it instead. And Spain just have it at the back with Kabassi. This is the third time I've seen Spain play this tournament. I've been on holiday, so the first game I saw when I came back from holiday, admittedly, was too tired to do a live watch along, was the Spain versus Austria game. But it has certainly been a very exciting game so far. Not much goal malfunction. There's been that one shot that was just straight at the goalkeeper Costa. But other than that, it's been all a lot in the midfield. Bruno Fernandes to Nuno Mendes, who does a cross-field ball searching for Ronaldo, gets past Ronaldo, but there's going to be powered down on the right-hand side. The cross, it's actually a shot, and it's just over. Bit of optimism, maybe. I don't mind that by João Cancelo, even though he is a wing-back. But he's only just over the crossbar, mind. You can tell he's a defender when the lack of composure and necessary in the final shot. But it wasn't a bad effort all round. I don't think he still plays for Manchester City. He obviously spent a lot of his career there. Can't remember where he's gone to, though. And it's unable to be directed towards Oyarzabal, and Portugal will have it. And it's been a very even game. I'm thoroughly enjoying it so far. Bruno Fernandes on this near side. I would have thought 1-2 maybe a bit of a better option there, but it's going all the way back into the defensive realms. Nuno Mendes, who's playing a bit of like a wing back, to be honest. It's really hard to tell how they're operating at times. That's potentially offside, which dragged wide anyway by Oyarzabal. I mean, it looked potentially off. I think it's very close. I think the lines would have come out if he didn't miss that. But the shot he took in the end was dragged just wide. It's a matter of margins in this game. So a goal kick. Actually, central. I don't think I've seen a goal kick. It was very rarely taken dead centre in the penalty area, or goalkeeper's box rather. Ronaldo has it now. Can't do a lot with it. It lifted up on the seconds, and it's the number 11, João Felix, who has it now. Opportunity to make a bit of progression. He was with Atletico Madrid for most of his career, João Felix. But has certainly not been a bad player over his time. He was tipped for great things when he was a youngster. Hasn't quite yet retrieved them, potentially. But there is going to be a corner kick, which Bruno Fernandes will take. First corner kick of the game then. And it's gone into the favour of Portugal. And goalkeeper is telling, stop holding on to each other. João Cancelo and Ronaldo, that is. Set piece comes in then. Headed away. Ronaldo's down, claiming for something. The shot is deflected. It was a long-range effort and maybe a bit too much. I mean, Lamine Yamal is going to chase down Costa in goal at the moment. It's punted long. It's not too bad of an effort, actually. Bruno Fernandes can't quite control it. And the captain, Rodri, swings away. Obviously, Rodri for City, Fernandes for United. The derby that has been between them two over many years have been fiery and well-tempered. And another derby one in this one in the States. America, in terms of Portugal, they have it at the moment in Texas. A chance for a cross. It's opted to go back instead. Not necessarily keen entirely on that move, but it's seemed as a switch of play at the moment. Just enabling everyone and getting a chance. And while Bruno Fernandes has lost possession there, Spain, well, Pedro Porro's gone down under a foul from João Felix. There was that questions about Ronaldo being pulled with a shirt by Rodri, but I don't think it was enough to... I think it would have been a re-kick. I can't remember how they administer things like that. I don't think there was enough in it, to be honest. Bruno Fernandes has it now and has fed it through nicely to that man, Ronaldo, and it is saved. Uno Simon called in there. It's not the best effort from Ronaldo, but showing that he's still got it despite his latency in years. Somehow not got a single grey hair. I wonder if he dyes it. So another corner kick for Portugal, who I think have maybe looked for better so far this game. Nuno Mendes will be one who takes this. They switch around the corner kick takers a fair bit. It's headed away fairly comfortably by Spain's number 21. But Portugal managed to keep it in there. And play on, says the ref, for a handball. It was a blatant handball, by the way. There's no disputing that, but it was advantage played. And Spain just looked to calm it down with Cucurella on the wide. Bit of a quiet game so far. Cucurella hasn't done a great deal. I mean, he was very impressive in a few of the games that I've seen so far, and was very much involved in the goal involvements for the game against Austria. He plays pretty much as a winger most of the time. And coming forward, Pedro Porro. Well, it's not Pedro Porro, rather. It's someone else. Anyway, it's come down and Portugal managed to smother it away. They've lost possession. There's so many people in midfield that João Felix can't quite manage it. And Ronaldo is almost operating as a winger just across the front at the moment, but Spain are coming onto a counter-attack at this moment in time, and they've lashed at it. That's way high and wide. I think it's Bayern, who took that effort on. Couldn't quite get it right, did the Spaniard. Yes, as I was saying, I was impressed by Bayanya last game, and I think if he has the same levels of performance in this one, Portugal could be in a bit of trouble. It's gone all the way back, that header, to Cucurella, who's having to recover because he is being chased down, admittedly without much pace, by Felix. And chance to progress the ball forward with Rodri, and goes out to Cucurella, gets a return. Rodri, known as that passing expert, epitomising that defensive midfield role over his time in his career. Just making sure at the moment that everyone gets a touch in that midfield, and chance to. There's never not been quite the incisive through balls for yet, anyway. But I mean, this game is high intensity, but not a lot of clinicalness when it is needed so far. And Spain is just slowing it down at the moment. Kabasi opts to go to the wide men, and that's poor. And, well, Portugal come away with it here. Again, going backwards there, not necessarily what I would have chosen to do. Nuno Mendes has got in a great one there to get past Olmo. He lays it off to Bruno Fernandes, who is an acre of space, and he gets a return in a fantastic position, but he can't quite make contact, and Unai Simon collected it. That would have been a fantastic interchange in play. Spain will attack quickly on the counter, and Lamine Yamal's in tons of space here. He gets the shot off, and it's saved. Seconds come in, and it's saved again. Great double save by Diego Costa. The keeper in yellow called into action. Lamine Yamal gets the initial shot off, which is well parried. And then it's Baena on the seconds, which is just fingertip save, really, by Diego Costa. That was going in, but the touch was a good enough one. Ruben Diaz couldn't quite connect with a header. But a great bit of goalkeeping, must be said, by Diego Costa. Again, Anthony Taylor just telling the players to just calm down, stop shoving at each other. Corner kick does come in by Baena. It's headed away. Seconds come with Lamine Yamal, who goes cross field to Cucurella, who has gone straight across the face of the goal, but Dani Olmo will pick it up. Lamine Yamal now lifts it in again. And, well, that's going to go out for a Portugal throw. Surprised Lamine Yamal didn't try to at least get that ball. He didn't look that interested in it. So, Nuno Mendes will take this throw in his own half. And, well, looking at some of the faces there from times gone by in Portugal, and the likes of Nani and Pedro and stuff like that. And Nuno Mendes had needed to get his shirt changed. I'm not sure why. I don't know if he got it ripped or something. The throw-in's taken. And it's gone all the way back to Diego Costa in the goal. Not the Diego Costa, the Diogo Costa. In case there's any confusion between the two players. I think Diego Costa may have retired quite some time ago, and I think he played for Brazil. Great last-ditch save by Ruben Dias, and that's going to be a free kick for the foul by Baena up against, I didn't quite catch who it was, but Ruben Dias with a sliding in challenge. Great bit of work from him there, last ditch defending, very model professional. So just gone long downfield. And, well, I don't even know why Ronaldo didn't bother jumping up for that. Spain have a chance to come through the middle, but it's not a great pass in the end, and Portugal come away with it. Pedri is all that battle between Pedri at the moment and the ones who surround him. He's actually made some great surging runs forward at the moment, Pedri. In the final third action, not a great deal. Vitinha lays it off, and it will go all the way back to Nuno Mendes at the moment, who is content just to keep it round at the back at the moment in this period in time. But just making sure that everyone gets a bit of touch, take a bit of that sting out, that winning a bit of a sustained pass of Spain and from the Spanish rather, and the Portuguese are just sort of content to keep it in their possession at the moment, with Vitinha and Bruno Fernandes. Ruben Dias lays it off, and that he's in plenty of space. The wing back there, João Cancelo. I think it is. Coming in, and that's a great opportunity. It's just lifted over. Oh, he's offside in the end. Is I think it was Ruben Dias potentially, who was one who was potentially off in the end. There was a lot of people going forward for that, and someone involved in build-up was offside. 0-0 after 20 minutes. Not being shy of chances, but shy of ability to get into the back of the net, thanks to mainly the great exploits of the goalkeeper so far for both sides. Dani Olmo has it now. So far, both sides' defence have managed to withhold the respective attacks quite well. Dani Olmo's trying to feed the ball through to Baena. And he gets about, I don't know why Dani Olmo's playing so deep, actually. It's quite unnatural to see him be doing that. You've got Rodri to do that and Pedri. There's 2 times that they're just switching between how many players in the midfield or not, and that's going to be a free kick. But, well, Baena thinks so. I don't know if it's actually been given. I mean, it's completely off the ball, and Aymeric Laporte, I mean, the ball wasn't ever going to get to him. It was a poor ball, but it was definitely a free kick. So Laporte can sort of consider himself a bit lucky there. What is wrong with that kid? All Ronaldo fanboys in the audience. So many red kits. Holy all Ronaldo on the back. Yet again, the referee's telling Kabassi to stop jostling. Free kick comes in, it's headed away. Seconds come in and it's blocked. That be, I think it's going to be a goal kick. I don't know who got the touch actually. It's going to be the hydration break either way. And a great chance to say that last night was up late and watched the England game, and that is on the channel, as is Brazil versus Norway. If you fancy watching a bit of the catching up some of the action and my reaction to it, I'll be doing my predictions coming up for the tier 6 in a video, hopefully on Friday. But in terms of So it's already my tier 7 ones in a post. I will also be watching Argentina versus Egypt, hopefully in a live watch along tomorrow. Salah versus Messi. So chance for some tactical advice on both managers. I mean, Diego Costa, so far, on track to win man of the match due to his great goal save. Someone there who's wearing a Portugal kit was dancing next to somebody who looked like their significant other in a Real Madrid kit. I mean, obviously, there's been a lot of crossover player-wise over the years. It's quite interesting that David Raya has not been selected as the number 1 for Portugal. Simon instead has been the one who's been wearing the gloves. And I mean, there's a lot of what an option to have between the two, though, isn't it? There's a few decent players on both teams' benches. And we're back underway in a minute. And we'll get back into formation. On the longer end of the hydration breaks. I'm not sure it's the best World Cup ever. I'll put that up. I think the amount of controversies that we've seen so far, arguably some of the worst World Cup ever. Overturning a red card decision just because the president says so, to not having a referee being allowed to be in it because of a visa. It's all problems clouding various things. Chance, if they can get that, Cucurella is going to have to deal with this. He does. There was a straight foot rush between him and Ruben Dias. And Cucurella did win it. Probably about half a yard ahead. Pedro Porro. And that'll be a throw-in. To, interestingly enough, to Spain. It must have taken a nick on its way. It's opted to throw back defensively to Kabasi. Portugal always have 2 or 3 players lurking forward, the likes of Bruno Fernandes and Ronaldo, inhabiting that final third. Nuno Mendes clears up there and gets the return. You can get a throw-in from that as well, as Lamine Yamal is one who dispossessed him but gave away the set piece instead. Throw comes in. It's a fairly long one. Can't quite find the target. Headed on by Portugal to Bruno Fernandes, who opts to cut in field to Vitinha. And a cross-field ball comes in here. Ruben Dias with it. Ronaldo coming in deep there. And fair bit of interplay at the moment. Ruben Dias going across field. Vitinha with it now. Bruno Fernandes. And he get return. Nuno Mendes goes back to his defensive partnerships. The one who I can't remember. Ruben Diaz passing it forward. Is that João Cancelo? It's been a link up over the years, that, if it is. And Spain come away with it. Dani Olmo in the centre circle. He feeds the ball through. Great recovering tackle. Thought there might have been a miscommunication there, but actually it's a great bit of last-ditch defending. There was every opportunity that it was going to be completely messed up. Long ball forward, which is chested control quite well. Well, I don't know what the claim is there. Neto can't believe it. He's chested it back completely fine. I don't think he's done anything wrong. Anthony Taylor, what are you doing? Dani Olmo. Searching out wide for Lamine Yamal, who gives it to Pedro Porro. The cross is blocked behind by Nuno Mendes, who came sliding in there. Did a great bit of work, putting his body on the line and all. That was a great cross by Pedro Porro. Alex Baena to take it. Looking for someone like Rodri to pile it home. He's giving it short to Olmo. Gets return himself by Enya. This is an interesting routine for corners. It's given to Cucurella now. He doesn't want it. A lifted ball comes in. The leg immediately prevented by Diogo Costa. Dani Olmo hasn't hit the target. From that position, that is disgraceful. I mean, he's potentially offside, is Olmo. But the header is way off target, by the way. I mean, certainly is the case that the number 22, Kabassi, is offside. But Dani Olmo's header was all completely wrong there. Is that going to be a free kick against Ronaldo? He's complaining. It does look like it's been stamped on by Laporte, but I don't think there's too much deliberate intention behind it. And that's gone out for a throw-in for Portugal. I was going to say, it looked like Lamine Yamal was going to go and take it, but I don't think it was ever going to go in that position. Nuno Mendes to throw. He manages to find his man, but can't control it, Bruno Fernandes, who has to do a recovery run here. And it manages just about to do his defensive duties. The midfielder. Slightly cut through that in Laporte. It's always complicated, the back pass rule. But there's elements you could have said that would have been a back pass. Definitely came off Aymeric Laporte's foot, but wasn't controlled. So it could have been a reason why. Diogo Costa taking it short and a quick 1-2. He's now opted to go mid-range pass. He gets it back this time. He can try a long-range one. And no foul, says the ref, and Bruno Fernandes is dispossessed. I think it was João Felix who was claiming he's been fouled. A lot of every player's been getting involved, to be honest. I don't think there's anyone who's been shirking their responsibilities so far for both teams. Which is great to see. Cucurella opting to go back. Pedro Porro finds Lamine Yamal, who's going to be on a one-on-one basis with Pedro Neto, finds Olmo. It's cleared by Portugal for a Spanish throw-in. Yazbo was left waiting. He's been probably the most quiet player out of them all so far. But we know he possesses that magic to turn it into his favour. Cucurella opts to go back, but still very much forward play at the moment. Baena with a cross headed away very powerfully. Need to find out who that number 13 is at half time, because he's had an impressive game, but I've completely forgotten from my mind who he is. Quite hard to remember 22 players. Rodri with a chance forward here to Lamine Yamal. That's a strong challenge by Lamine Yamal. A very strong challenge indeed. Nuno Mendes gets it well, and then João Felix tried to go on him, and then Lamine Yamal's given away a free kick, trying to recover it. Nuno Mendes opts to cross. And it's all in the defensive line at the moment for Portugal, but Dani Olmo is ratting around quite nicely. Spain are growing into this game a bit over the last 5 minutes or so. As Kabassi has it here. Opts to go onto the right-hand side with Pedro Porro, but gets the return. And this time we will see a switch in play. Or not. Kabassi will get the return for a third time. He lifts it forward into the arms of Costa. He was trying to find a run of Yarzabal, but to no avail, I must say. And forward they go. Portugal. It's going to be Ronaldo for a Spanish throw-in. Couldn't quite control it on that far side. Spain have an option here to build. Kabassi is running into the opposition half. Cross comes in. Well, it's too far away from the goalkeeper, maybe, or goal penalty area to be considered a cross, but some plenty of space there, Vitinha, and tries to do some nice build-up play with Ronaldo. Ronaldo gets a return. He's not got a pace though to run half the length of the pitch. João Felix. Ravon says the ref playing advantage. It's going quite nicely forward at the moment. Bruno Fernandes has it. Dummied across and opts to go short instead. Now the cross comes in, and there's a header. And a diving catch. Unai Simon on the recovery. Because the initial header by Ronaldo was saved. He's gone into the advertising hoardings, actually. It was João Felix, I think, actually, initially. Ronaldo with the second shot, and the diving save on recovery by Unai Simon. Had to be alert to it, because that was on target. Both goalkeepers showing their worth at the moment. That's going to be a sore one in the morning. Saw Jordan Henderson in last night's game get a yellow card and injure his wrist in part of the celebrations. So that's his World Cup over. I mean, if he was going to make an appearance at all, but must be the only player to have made 0 minutes, getting a yellow card, and also then getting an injury. Someone's boot is off. Who's that lying on the floor? There's just a gaggle of legs. I can't see who it is. I'm really confused. João Felix is getting an ice pack rubbed on him. He's had a large red bruise there. In terms of, he just absolutely body slammed the laser adverts behind It's the number 18, Pedro Neto, who is one without his boot on. What is going on? Put your boot back on, mate. Eventually put it back on. That's going to be some healthy bit of stoppage timing. 5 attempts for Portugal to 7 attempts to Spain on goal, but both have been 3 on target apiece. Does speak about quite an even game so far. There's clearly something wrong with Pedro Neto's boot. I'm not sure what it is. The Spanish fans having a whale of a time. Unai Simon takes this free kick forward, or this kick forward. That's going to be a foul. That was poor by Pedro Porro. That's a cynical foul. It was, nicely controlled by João Felix and then just absolutely clattered into by Pedro Porro. Nuno Mendes has it now. Searching cross-field pass to try and find the run of João Cancelo. He's right on the edge of it, and he's got his team a corner, I believe, actually, from that position. Not bad, João Cancelo, in the slightest. It's a great cross-field pass, actually. I think that's one of the best passes I've seen in a while. I don't tend to do long order. Okay, finally Pedro Neto has got himself a new boot. I think the heel of it or something was coming off. So that saga has been completed. The pink boots has been replaced. Giacomo went around and asked him to substitute. Does anyone have a boot they can give? I'm a bit more professional with that, maybe. We're just waiting for the Sule to be... He's giving the same boot back. There's a hole in the back of the boot. I think they've just cut it off. There's a hole in the ankle. Or the back of the end of it. Nuno Mendes with a shot. Just racketing at the roof of the net. And I think it took a deflection, but that was a very, very good effort. It must be said. Can we see a replay of that, please? There we can. It's gone in and it's headed over by Pedro Porro, who hit the crossbar as a result and actually ended up with a throw in. But it's not a bad effort. It's found what has been given there. The throw-in has to happen again. I'm not sure what happened. Was the referee not ready? I don't know. Baffling call. No idea what for. The throw-in to be retaken. And it's 1-2 with Vitinha. And Nuno Mendes has a cross. A touch by Dani Olmo does enough to see Spain manage to come away with it here. And they can run with Lamine Yamal, who's tumbling and falling under no pressure. It's just a slip, but manages to get the pass off in the end. And great sliding tackle, but it just ended up back to Cucurella, so they can continue the attack. Lamine Yamal has it, and that will be a foul, surely. No, says the ref. I thought João Felix definitely had a trailing leg there. Oh no, he did get the ball. João Felix, so far, I think being towards my mind one of the better players so far on this pitch, but it's been very even. I think all of them have put in a solid shift for both sides. Hard to tell you hard pressed to say who's been man of the match at the moment. Bruno Fernandes lifts the ball forward, looking for where Ronaldo should be. He's not there. Instead, It's not João Felix. It's someone else. Ronaldo does have it now. He's almost dropping so deep into midfield, Ronaldo. João Cancelo out to Pedro Neto. Formerly a Wolves Pedro Neto. As so many Portuguese players have been over time. Bruno Fernandes with a cheeky 1-2 with his defensive partner. Goes out to Nuno Mendes, who lost the ball there, but regained it nicely. It's him between Lamine Yamal is an interesting battle at the moment in time. Lamine Yamal can't quite get enough time on the ball. Nuno Mendes with a cross, but it's collected by Unai Simon. No trouble for, I believe, Athletic Bilbao is who the goalkeeper plays for. And a chance for Spain to come forward. Aymeric Laporte. Crossfield to Rodri. Goes forward to Pedro Porro, but gets back to Rodri. Got a plethora of options in front of him. He chooses Olmo. And out wide to Baena. Up short to Cucurella, to back to Olmo. It's just been going a bit deep though. They can't quite get past this defensive red wall at the moment. Lamine Yamal trying to get some, or Oyarzabal rather, trying to get something. The second shot comes in and he's miles away out there. 6 minutes of stoppage time to go then. It was Rodri who opted to tee up the shot. That's a very typical Rodri shot, ending up in what must be a fair few rows up, shall we say. Pedro Neto taking a throw in. He doesn't want it. He wants someone else to throw it instead. Very lackadaisically giving in to Cancelo there, to be honest. Great control in midfield there. Fantastic ability by the number 15, and a great pass forward as well. Couldn't quite find Ronaldo into the arms of Simon instead, but again, not a bad pass. So far, Portugal showing their passing ability is absolutely sublime. Baena with it now. Goes to Cucurella on the right-hand side and getting a 1-2 situation. Dani Olmo goes to Porro. Forward ball looking for Lamal, who can't get that on target at all. That's a horrible shot from that position. He's offside anyway. I think he might have known it. Hence the poor caliber of shot. I mean, he is a solid yard off. You can't really have too many complaints about that. Vitinha. Or Spain managed to get it there. Spain haven't quite dominated as much of possession as they did in previous games so far. A free kick, though, has been awarded to Spain. Pedri is complaining about something or another. Dani Olmo just cynically fouled there. A bit of a needle, a bit of a bite between these two old foes. The legend versus the future. Someone's got Ronaldo versus Lamal. A lot of love, of course, in Spain for Ronaldo due to his links over his long career with Real Madrid. Even though he is playing for the old foes of Portugal in this one. Baena takes this free kick. Oyarzabal puts it back into the mixer. And it's going to be a goal kick. And yeah, we've not seen bad efforts so far. Both goalkeepers having their work cut out for them. Although this one didn't actually challenge the goalkeeper, so Diego Costa, I think it's just been as a free kick by the looks of it. I'm not too sure what it was for, but we move. Headed on by Bruno Fernandes. Can't get the header quite right, and it's going to be a Spanish throw-in by Pedro Porro, taken quickly but defensively. And, at times, Bruno Fernandes is, the most forward player, looking almost as if he's like number 10, but at times he's also defensive. Spain have a good counter on them, but it's just muscled off by Anya there. A chance for João Neves, who is the one who I finally found out. He's one of the ones which I didn't remember the number for. And well, he's had a decent game as well. They all have. João Felix trying to feed through to Bruno Fernandes, couldn't quite manage it. And not got long left. About a minute and a half. Going forward are Spain, looking to try and take an advantage into half-time. Cucurella, so having to be forced deep there. And it's going to actually be a throw into Portugal. That's a poor pass, considering the options. Pedro Neto telling his team to push on forward. You can see why. But option actually, the throw has opted to go defensively instead. Hooked forward, looking for the run. Oh, he's offside. It was João Felix who was the target. Was he actually offside? Or was it a foul? It might be given as a foul against Pedro Porro. There wasn't a lot in it, though. I thought it might have been offside because it didn't look a great deal in it. Yeah, take it from when it went when it actually happened. Inside your area. Simon. Head to toe in blue. Takes this free kick downfield. It's going to be probably the last action towards the end of this half. It's going to see Baena running forward. It's blocked out for a throw-in. Probably have a chance just to see this happen. Oh, no, we're not. It's maybe a bit bizarre of a decision. We normally see that sort of thing allowed, but not so far. 0-0 at half-time, then. Let me know how you are going to see that game go, this game go in the end. But at the moment, I can't tell you the difference. Portugal on a 6.7, Spain on a 6.71. Literally, two of the most evenly matched teams this tournament. I mean, we were talking about Norway versus Brazil being evenly matched last night, but this game has been equally evenly matched. 7.2 for Costa, that wonderful double save. We've got to talk about that double save, keeping his team right in it. He's made 3 saves in total and 1 successful run out. He's been reliable when called upon. I think he's actually had to make a few more saves, a few less saves than Nuno Simon, but Nuno Mendes on a 6.8. Had a ball a decent amount. Want to see him progressing a bit forward. He sometimes ends up a bit too deep. I know he is a left back by trade, but some of the work forward could have been, he inhabits that further up space, it's forcing someone like Lamine Yamal backwards. Vallega on a 6.7. He's the one who I've been forgetting, the number 13. Not a bad game in all. It's almost been he's had to be doing a fair bit of defensive work and recovery work. 6.6 by Ruben Diaz. Had that great sliding in tackle to prevent a goal. He's had 2 clearances, 4 recoveries. But yeah, I think has done a decent job putting his body on the line. João Cancelo on a 6.6. Certainly be marauding around on that far side. It's always hard to tell who has it on the opposite end of the football field, but I know João Cancelo and Pedro Neto have both had a fantastic game so far. 6.6 for João Neves. Typical midfield performance, really. I want to see him get more on the ball, actually. I don't think João Neves has had much of a time on the ball as I expected. Vitinha on a 6.4. Similar situation. He's had a bit more time on the ball. He's been a very typical box-to-box midfielder. It's actually been quite an open game, in all honesty. I think anything below 6.5 is harsh, by the way, for all of these. Like 6.4 for João Felix. It's a harsh decision. I think he's been, at times, one key pass. He's been in good positions, but maybe hasn't quite managed to do it. Same with 6.4 with Fernandez. It's a similar sort of story. One key pass as well. Hasn't managed to necessarily inflict pain in forward positions. 6.8 for Pedro Neto. He's been great on that far side. Few decent crosses. Well, that one decent cross, which ultimately didn't come to anything. But 7.9 for Ronaldo. That's inflated, surely. He's hardly done anything. He had 2 shots, right? Neither has it resulted in goal. They're both on target. But other than that, has had a very quiet game as Cristiano Ronaldo. Personally, for me, I'd rather him be involved in the actual game than, stat padding shots, which is only 2 shots as well. 7.4 for Unai Simon. He had only 2 saves to make all game, but, he made them. When he's been called into action, he actually did a great recovery save. I remember where he was sort of caught wide and then managed to dive back into it. 6.9 for Pedro Porro. Has had a very impressive game as the Spurs wing-back. 5 defensive contributions, 4 out of the 6 ground duels he's won so far. Has certainly been causing problems down on that right-hand side, which has forced João Felix back. It's sort of what I want Nuno Mendes to be doing from a Portuguese perspective in the second half, is just apply a bit of that pressure. 6.5 for Kabassi, keeping control of the ball, it's the Spanish way. We've seen it happen a fair, decent amount over this tournament. No difference in this one. 6.4 for Aymeric Laporte. Has a bit of a quiet game, hasn't been involved as much as I think a lot of us expect him to be in the build-up play. 6.4 for Cucurella. He's had a quiet game for his standards of what he's done so far and set during this World Cup. He hasn't actually been utilised as much, shall we say. 7.1 for Rodri, who is the second best player behind Simon at the moment for this Spanish team. He has been like a spider making a web. He's flinging passes all over the place and with such brutal accuracy. 46 out of 50 passes he's attempted so far has found their target. 1 key pass as well. He is a joy to watch. He keeps an eye of where it's almost like he's got 360 degrees vision. He looks everywhere and always seems to pull off a great pass. 6.4 for Pedri isn't quite on the same level. I think we can agree on that. And a few of his balls have actually been not great. But overall, he's probably been the weakest link. That sort of left-hand side at the moment for Spain is struggling up against Cancelo and Neto, particularly. And we might see that further into this half. Lamine Yamal, as a right-back, he's not actually a right winger, sorry. He's not done a great deal. And I think he's had quite a quiet game, Lamine. So I'd like to see him get involved a bit more. 6.9 for Dani Olmo. It's popped up every now and again. He's had 1 big chance created, 1 key pass. I think he's been an important number, that number 10. And a 6.8 for Baena. Again, another decent game from him. Unfortunately, none of his free crosses have found any accuracy. But his cross-field balls, he's been attempting stuff, so I don't mind it. As I always say, if it doesn't come off, then fine, but as long as you attempt it. 6.33 yards as well, a quiet game, and oftentimes too deep, in my opinion, to have a real impact on the game. He's had 2 shots, 1 on target and 1 was missed, a big chance missed. I think Yarzbel just needs to get further up the pitch and let that, you got the likes of Lamine Yamal, Olmo and Baena all to do that deeper work for you to try and, find you into feet in a dangerous position. So yes, 0-0, but it is worth saying that some great chances have been happening. That Nuno Mendes shot headed by Pedro Porro onto a crossbar was one. The double save by Costa was another one. And there's also that recovery save by Simon. So both teams have had great chances. I'm going to open up the Pringles at half time. The sour cream and onion, as they are, if you are interested in the flavour, with their Brazilian green. I wonder what they choose the Texas barbecue to be. Who do they play if they win? Portugal versus Spain. I'm just going to have a look. So France are due to play Morocco. And whoever wins between USA and Belgium. And so that's an interesting one. Whoever wins between Norway and England is due to play whoever wins between the 4 teams, Switzerland, Colombia, Argentina, and Egypt. That might be where England's road comes to an end. I feel we could maybe nick a 1-0 up against Norway. I mean, obviously, our defence needs to improve. Well, I'm back from a recovery of a food break. We're going to address the elephant in the room. The World Cup has been brought into complete disrepute. USA versus Belgium is coming on tonight at 1 a.m. I'm not going to sit to watch it, frankly. I've got better things to do, such as sleeping and recovering from the sleep I had from the late night I had last night watching England. But absolute disgraceful decision. Basically, if you don't know what happened, Balogun was due not to play because he got a red card in their game against Bosnia, I think it was. And Trump basically said to Infantino, listen, mate, I'll chip you in a cheeky few grand and you overturn this, And so the thing's been overturned. It's blatant corruption. There's no other way of saying it. Infantino is corrupt as heck. It brings the whole competition into disrepute. I mean, if I'm Pochettino, I would just, for the sake of the game, not start him. Right? It's disgraceful that this has been allowed to happen. Well, last night I also watched on a live watch along Norway versus Brazil. It was a great game, 2-1 to Norway in the end. I mean, it was very much slightly dubious penalty maybe for Brazil after maybe full time should have been blown, but ultimately it was only consolation. In Neymar's career internationally, what a player he's been. You know, we talk about the likes of Messi and Ronaldo and this being their last tournaments. Neymar also fits into that category. You know, what a star-studded player he has had. He's been right up there, you know, one of Brazil's best of all time. And, well, he slotted home that penalty. And he goes home a legend. Unfortunately, not to win it, but he's, you know, he's been known for his successes in the past as the Neymar Jr. Also last night was England versus, well, Mexico. And what became of Mexico? They ended up losing 3-2. Wasn't without its fair share of controversies that game either, as Kwanzaa was sent off, which I thought at the time looked quite a harsh decision. It looked like the momentum for me for the ball took the ball up to make his studs go up. A red was shown. England were forced to be very defensive in that regard. We also gave away a penalty that I don't necessarily think was a penalty. So the game was all a bit much more close than it could have been. But 3-2 was the scoreline. That man Bellingham with a brace and Harry Kane with a penalty. That man does not miss, does he? So both of them ones we have sort of relied on time and time again to get us out of a whole heap of trouble. Well, we should be shortly, very shortly, returning back to this game. I mean, words going in by the likes of Roberto Martinez and La Fuente, echoing potentially in the ears. I don't think there's really been a highlight of this game, to be honest, of something that is worth it. I mean, they were talking at the moment on the BBC about the opposition that England's got next in Norway, and I am a bit worried. They've got Haaland, they've got Ødegaard, they've got a decent lineup, but as long as England can keep on the attack, I think we could be all right. I'd rather play Norway than Brazil, just purely based on the style of play. Well, potential substitutes are available for both teams to make at half-time. Whether they do or not remains to be seen. Lamine Yamal has taken himself, has come off. Okay, there seems to be potentially discussions about maybe a substitute or something or another going on with Zhao Felix. At the moment, I won't change the lineups for either team. I think they both had the fair share of chances, and Portugal will kick us off. It was João Neves who started it. Spain have regained possession very quickly. Obviously, this game stays as it is. We're going to extra time and then maybe even penalties. But the firepower in both of these two teams, that seems unlikely. Cucurella has it on the edge of a penalty area, but is forced backwards, and a chance for a break with Neto. He runs on the field. He's got the option of Ronaldo if he wants him. He's instead gone with a cross-field pass to Vitinha, who splits it to Bruno Fernandes. Long lifted ball over, and it's going to go out for a goal kick. I mean, that was never going to get to Neto. Diogo Costa in goal for Portugal. Mendes, Veiga, Ruben Dias, and João Cancelo. Vitinha, João Neves, João Felix, Bruno Fernandes, Pedro Neto, and Cristiano Ronaldo for the Portugal team. So completely unchanged in their lineup. For Spain, they got Simon in goal, Cucurella, Laporte, Cabasi, and Porro. Rodri holding midfielder, Pedri and Olmo, the two attacking midfielders, and the forwards for Baena, Oyarzabal, and Lamine Yamal. They are your two lineups. Completely unchanged from the first half. We probably won't see one until about half an hour in. But at the moment, it's with the number 11, Neto. He can't believe it. He's actually 18. But he can't believe it. It's a throw into Spain, which Cucurella would take. Looked a bit questionable. I do incline to agree with him there. But chance Pedro Porro passing it forward. He gets the return and goes all the way back to the centre-back in Cabasi. Simon lays it off to Laporte. And Dani Olmo, who links up nicely, or that's cheaply given away. That's surely a foul against Ronaldo. How many times has he been fouled throughout his career? It was Dani Olmo who pulled him to the ground. Slightly weak challenge, and Dani Olmo can't quite believe it. Probably didn't quite want a reaction, to be honest. Sometimes referees buy the reaction, though, don't they? So, chance for Bruno Fernandes or Nuno Mendes to have a great ball in. It feels like it's going to be a Bruno. Oh, he's just duped everyone. And Nuno Mendes. And it's Fernandes in the end. And, well, it's gone to Simon. Our whole which one's going to do it didn't quite work the way we thought it would. Back to the training ground, lads. Going forward is Fernandes. Not Fernandes, sorry. It was João Cancelo. And, well, the shot, less spoken about that. Maybe the better. It was very much wide of the mark. Simon with it now. Portugal started the better of the two teams in this half. Dani Olmo has it. Running around like a bit of a headless chicken at the moment. He's got to go back to a goalkeeper who's punted it downfield. Dealt with relatively easier by Veiga. Baena laying it off into the forward run. Chance here for something. It's going to be laid off into Lamal. I think it was, well, that's going to be a free kick. Nuno Mendes goes down under the Lamine Yamal challenge. He's just pulled him down and pushed and pulled. And yeah, it's definitely a free kick in my opinion. Especially at this stage, shouldn't be known better. Ruben Dias knocking it far downfield, looking for the run of Neto. You're not going to get a free kick from that, mate. Cucurella basically just fell over and Neto fell over on top of him. Baena can't quite get the pass. It was a great interception, actually, by Vitinha. Neto can break. He's in plenty of space. Has been a great player so far this game. I think if Ronaldo just slides in there, he might be able to make contact, but he doesn't. Because I don't think that's too bad of a ball by Neto. All starts with a Vitinha interception, and Neto has that great break, acres of space to be in, and he pulls it across the face of goal, but there's no one there to pull it, like just tap it in behind. Oh, and it's in midfield with Baena. Danny Olmo, almost operating as a winger at this point in time. It's a push and go, but he doesn't quite get the go as Nuno Mendes can shield this ball. And it's going to be a throw-in to Portugal. He's done quite a good job, Nuno Mendes, in keeping the opposite numbers quiet. The Portuguese Vitinha has got that more by fortune than anything into the path of Ronaldo, but Cucurella will get there first. Why is Cucurella playing almost in midfield? He's so out of position there. I don't think I can compare to Lamine Yamal has brushed away from Nuno Mendes, but it is going to be cleared away by João Cancelo for a throw-in. Well, Nuno Mendes is actually on the floor for something or other. He's got back up now. Throw-in by Pedro Porro will be taken. About, 30 yards away from goal. And he opts to go safe. That frustrates me. We no longer see these like forward pile driving throws. Cucurella goes downfield. It's again another backwards pass for Rodri, who then does cross field to Pedri and goes away out to Pedro Porro. João Felix has done a great job there. And I think that Bruno Fernandes who's breaking. Ronaldo is too deep. But he's managed to so far do quite well, but that's a great challenge. Great sliding in challenge there, timed to perfection. And Nuno Mendes is back down injured. And Spain have kicked the ball out. I don't know what's wrong with him. Medics are coming on. Looks like a muscle. He stretched quite far to try and prevent Lamine Yamal. That is going to be a bit of a problem. Muscles injuries are always quite difficult, especially once you've overstretched them. So potentially a forced change may happen for Portugal here. He is back up on his feet and walking off. Well, so a sportsman's thing would be for Portugal to give the ball back to Spain. We'll have to see if Nuno Mendes makes a return. At the moment, it seems to be someone else looking to make the sub. Yeah, they're going to make a sub, I think. So 0-0, 55 minutes in. We prepare to make the first change of the game. As Nuno Mendes comes off, unfortunately his day is over due to injury. He's had a good game, in my opinion. Nelson Semedo is the player who's coming on in his place. As we said, there's a great deal of great players. It's back with Simon as we sort of expected. Sort of rules of fair play at hand. Directed downfield, but can't quite get past the first bit of Nelson Semedo action. Semedo has having to deal with Lamine Yamal, his toughest challenge to date this World Cup, probably. One of the best players in the world, Lamine Yamal often said at the moment. It's a throw-in for Portugal. Nuno Mendes is walking all the way around the edge of the pitch. He's been quite a good player today. I must say, it's sad to see him go. And obviously it's just set pieces as well. It's going to be a throw-in taken by Nelson Semedo. Flicked on, but I mean, quite lucky to have come away with a throw-in maybe there, Portugal. That looked like it was going into no man's land. So, still very much tight game. Ruben Dias going back to Costa in goal. It's flicked up in the air, and Ronaldo's little bit of trickery doesn't quite work. He was trying to do the old bobble on the head. Who was it? There was a player back in the day who used to do that, like, sort of dolphin type thing. I think the move was eventually banned. It was a very impressive technique. João Cancelo trying to find a forward run by Vitinha, who can't quite do it. And Spain can get a counter here. Cucurella to Rodri. Lifted up and wide to Baena. Cross comes in to Dani Olmo, and that's dealt with nicely by Veiga, who will release it to Ronaldo. And a chance for a break for João Felix on the wings. But he's not got the pace to manage to go all the way. And I think Portugal will be more content to keep this in midfield at the moment. Vitinha with it now. Everybody just getting a touch at the moment. Ruben Dias in the centre circle. Vitinha does a full rotation and finds a Neves on the far side of the pitch. The chance for a cross to come in. Ronaldo can't quite steer it on target. Ronaldo, and it's easily dealt with by Simon. To be honest, there wasn't much more he could do in that position, but it was a tame shot in the end. It's been an impressive game for Portugal. A lot of people thought that Spain might have the washing of them, but certainly hasn't happened yet. To Pedro Porro on the far side in midfield, who opts to go back. And a lovely bit of interchange going on at the moment. Dani Olmo has it. We're all with their backs to goal at the moment, forced to keep on passing backwards as opposed to forwards. Pedri, was it Kabassi? It might even be Kabassi rather. To Lamine Yamal. Feels wrong just to say Yamal. It really does. He's got it again, Lamine Yamal. He's got Nelson Semedo and João Felix around him, and he's given away a foul against João Felix. So it's going to be a free kick for Portugal. I think he dived there, João Felix. But to be fair, reaction from Lamine Yamal, he does know that he's done wrong there, so maybe not. Olmo in the penalty area with the ball here. Lays it off, and it's a shot which has gone well over by Pedri. He sort of just slashed at that a bit. And to be honest, he's way off target. I mean, it has been blocked behind, so probably took a touch or something. Baena with it now. It's headed away, cleared not substantially. That'll be another corner, surely. Lamine Yamal's effort to try and direct it goalwards is blocked behind by João Felix. Baena can't take this corner kick until that ball is off the pitch. And they stopped tussling with each other in the penalty area. Baena takes it in. It's claimed by Costa. Metz from a rising head of Laporte. It was important he held that and didn't try and parry it and punch it clear. And it was not actually too bad from Laporte. I don't mind that. Rushing in, trying to get the header in. Nelson Semedo. He's not looked bad since he's come on. He looks fresh. It's always a worry when one of your players have been forced off due to injury. You know, will the replacement be as good? But so far, no complaints in this regard. And Neves giving away the ball a bit cheapy, trying to get a throw in there. Vitinha is interplaying wisely with Bruno Fernandes. That is going to be a free kick. Pedri from behind. It's taken by Portugal. And Neto flicks it back to Cancelo. He'll go all the way to his defensive teammates. It's going to be a rush forward by Neto. Oh, it was almost a lovely 1-2, but Cucurella putting his body on the line, and a throw in instead for Portugal will be the result in midfield. Which, is Ruben Dias going to take it? No, he's not. I was going to say. Instead, of course, it's going to be João Cancelo. And Spain, the nation famous for jamón, for Mallorca, the chorizo, the sunny beaches, and paella, is taking on Portugal rather, which is famous for footballing reasons, of having one of the best footballers of all time. Pedri ratting around, managing to keep control of the ball with a back pass to Laporte. And it's with Kabassi now. They've just been forced backwards a bit, Spain, in this half. Portugal have definitely been very intentionally going forward. And Bruno Fernandes is applying a bit of pressure. I mean, the pressure doesn't do a great deal. Lamine Yamal has it. And he's locked to a great pass out wide. And well, we've got the seconds here. The shot comes in. It is saved. Baena can't quite direct it goalwards. It's not a bad effort, but Costa was very alert to it. So downfield by Costa. Headed up in the air by Laporte. Somehow Baena managed to keep hold of it. It was in a bit of no man's land, that header. Pedri, the Barcelona midfielder, still very young, and he passes it to his teammate, both for club and country, Lamine Yamal. who cross comes in and it's cleared by Cancelo. It's Pedro Porro who came in with a cross. And I mean, there was no one there who was receiving it. I don't think Cancelo needed to kick it away. He had plenty of time. Giving a bit of a cheap of a throw in there. I say, if in doubt, kick it out. I'm not sure about that, but Cucurella has it now to Laporte, to Kabasi. We'll try and make something work. It's going to be on the right-hand side with Lamine Yamal. Semedo giving away a free kick. No, says the referee. I'm not sure about that. Definitely looked like a foul to me. Spain growing into the game again. It was a substantial period of about 15 minutes now. Spain hadn't really managed to gain much control, but they're growing into it again. Back to their game plan, back to a drawing board. We're probably for the next set piece going to be having the drinks break. So that's going to be the fun and games to come forward next time that ball goes out. But at the moment, perfectly content to keep possession, Spain. Rodri to his fellow defences. I think it's Kabasi. It's going to go forward here. Ball's gone through, and Oyarzabal not done great there. He's not been very quiet this game. The Portugal counter-attack is miscontrolled. And we are going to see, I believe, the drinks break. Yes, we are. Well, that was a surprise. Not. But yes, certainly Portugal having much more of a momentum in this second half. And the game definitely tipped towards their favour, I would say, as a result of that. So far, the talking point of Nelson Semedo coming on from Nuno Mendes, who had to go off injured. He's not been quite as good because Mendes, I think, has had a fantastic game before he got taken off. But keeping Lamine Yamal quiet, and that was sort of the main shtick on that side. It's actually been quite a nice duel all round. By far, for me, the worst player has been Oyarzabal. He's just not gotten on the ball at all. Needs to do something. Who wins this game? It's really hard to tell. It could go even all the way to a penalty shootout. It's so far very even. I was a bit biased as Cesar Azpilicueta as one of the pundits for this. Is there anyone who owns a Portugal kit with a name on the back which doesn't have Ronaldo? No one's putting João Neves on the back of their shirt, right? Just isn't happening. I mean, also, the fact they've got 2 numbers, so there'll be more money for it. Well, we're almost ready to get back underway. It is going to be a substitute, a double substitution actually. Diego Dallo is coming on, as is Rafael Leao, who has been rumoured to make a move away from AC Milan this summer. João Cancelo and João Felix, the two Joãos, are coming off. So see how that changes the dimensions of things. Rafael Leao has a lot of pace to him, of course. So it adds that dimension. Is that a foul? Yes, says the referee. So far, Lamine Yamal has slightly better faring up against Nelson Semedo. Definitely pulled back there. It's just on the corner of the penalty area. You're lucky if it's another step or two forward, well, probably a step forward, that's in the penalty box. So it's going to be a set piece for two-man wall. All sorts of players, Bayanya, Oyarzabal, and Lamine Yamal, all talking about potentially taking it. I think Oyarzabal is going to go into the box, as is Bayanya, and Lamine Yamal will be the one to take it. Watch for the deflection if there is one here. It's tipped behind by Costa for a corner kick. He attempted it. It was curling, but a right arm save, parrying it over the crossbar. So Spain have to settle for a corner, which Bayenya will take. Punched away. Semedo needs to get there, and he's a foot race with Cucurella, who's a very fast player, and Semedo does clear it. It's not too surprising that this game is so far still goalless. Two of the better defensive teams so far this tournament. And Spain are looking to make their first change. Sometimes you've got to counter change with change. Is that going to be a free kick? No, says a referee. Emmanuel again adamant that Semedo was impeding him. Ruben Diaz going to Vega, who goes all the way back to Costa in goal. The man in the yellow kit kicks it forward downfield, and that'll go all the way to Vinny Simon in goal, who bowls it out to Kabasi. Not a great long ball. Well, Dani Olmo feeds the ball to Lamine Yamal. You've got a chance here. There's runners forwards if need be. Oh, it's just blocked. The pass intercepted quite easily. And Neves going out wide. Leao, his first involvement of the game is to go short to Bruno Fernandes. Hooked forward, plenty of space is the it's gone for a throw in, but it was I don't think that was too bad of a ball actually. So Ferran Torres is coming on. Bayenya is coming off, and a bit of a shame really. He's drenching with water, by the way, Torres. I think he's had a whole water bottle flown over him before the game, before he came on. So Leao, he's still got the ball there. He had like 5 players around him and still managed to keep the ball. Absolutely ridiculous. Deflected pass, but into the path of Bruno Fernandes, who hits the side netting. Wow. He was getting there. He was not far off. Cucurella lifts the ball forward, but just ends up in the defensive area with Ruben Dias. Costa. Again, since the hydration break, Portugal have regained momentum. Came at the right time for them. Oh, Spain's pickpocketed there. Lamine Yamal to Dani Olmo. It's blocked. Rodrigo short to Olmo, but he gets the return. Goes across to Pedri. I'd go to Cucurella here if I was him, but he opts not to. Dani Olmo with back heel pass. No one wants it. Go on, put a name on it. There's 4 players ahead of you, all in white. 4 or 5 players to potentially pick out there. And they're instead going side to side. Eventually chooses to go with one of them in, I think it's Pedri. The ball's lifted over, looking for Ferran Torres' first involvement. He curls it into the side netting, but I mean, it was never going to be on target. He was at a completely wrong angle. He was just lunging in there. A great timed run, but couldn't quite get there in time to avoid a goal kick. It's pumped downfield by Costa. We'll go all the way back to Simon. Well, this game looks like it might end up a draw, and we're going to go to extra time. Now, the question is do you save your substitutes for that? Kabasi piling on the ball forward. Chance to turn by Ferran Torres. He's had a decent foray so far since he's come on, I must say. And he's much more tight going up. Olmo with a shot. It's blocked nicely by Ruben Dias. Nelson Semedo was wrong-footed, and Ruben Dias has to, come in with the interception and block it behind for a corner. Ruben Dias bailing out his team yet again. Lamine Yamal to take the corner. Since Baenya's gone off as well, he's, I think, the second designated corner taker. Comes in. Oh, that's tipped away and not dealt with quite well, to be honest. Rodri's got it now. It's now punched clear by Costa, coming out to Olmo. I'll do it again. Lamine Yamal has got Ronaldo in front of him. Through to Ferran Torres. Going and opting with a corner there, Nelson Semedo. It feels an odd decision. There's a handball shout by Ferran Torres, but literally no one else. Let's see this. I mean, I don't know where he's got the handball from, to be honest. It's not touched him. It's not touched Vega at all. But it will be a corner. I mean, it wasn't as obvious as that flipping Mbappe one the other day against Paraguay, was it? And that wasn't given. So the corner comes in. It's headed on, but somehow it's found Rodri, who is offside, I think. Or done some sort of illegal manoeuvre, which has forced a free kick to Portugal. Portugal looking to make a double change with Bernardo Silva making an appearance. What a veteran he is as well of Portuguese football, Bernardo Silva. I think Contrao as well looked like he was coming on. So about 10 minutes left of normal time. Are we going to see a breakthrough? As ever, we'll have about 5 minutes stoppage time at least. So it could well even be progressing towards 20 minutes worth of stoppage time. Or, well, not quite stoppage time, 20 minutes of play. Lamine Yamal to Ferran Torres. Can't quite get a return. and chance for Portugal to break. Ronaldo has it. Opts to go safe, sort of taking the sting a bit out of the counter-attack there. I don't like that type of manoeuvre. You know, if you want a counter, take your counter. But Leao coming forward, it's got pace, bursts of it. He tries to do the cross, just goes into the arms of Unai Simon, who bowls it out, ready to go again. Progressing forwards. The game is now opening up a bit. Portugal will make a change at this next period of stoppage. Dani Olmo to Ferran Torres. Not as good as Fernando Torres, it must be said. Talking about Spanish greats, which we were earlier. And game has become a bit more open at the moment, it's fair to say. Bruno Fernandes with a through ball to Leao to get it to run. He gets a return. It'll be a throw in, and we'll see a couple of changes here. Be interesting to see who comes off actually. And yep, so confirm that's going to be Neto who's making way, and his day's over. And it's going to be a end of the day for the number 23 Vitinha. He's ending his day. He's making way for Bernardo Silva. I think it's Cohen Shao, who's coming off for Pedro Neto, or coming on rather for Pedro Neto. Conscience Shao. Right. Nelson Semedo to make the throw. I don't know why. I just have in my mind that he played for Bournemouth. I know he didn't because it was Semenyo, but it's just like two names are so similar. I mean, Spain are preparing to make a change themselves. Both have got fantastic benches, by the way. Leao with it now. That's gone out for a throw for Portugal. He's a good talent, Leao. I'm surprised AC Milan don't fancy him for their team. Actually, it's going to be a double change by the looks of it for Spain. Fabian Ruiz, I think, is due to come on. There's one of the two. Cucurella to take this throw in. And Ferran Torres does a bit of skill work, but it's only a last found Portugal regardless. And it's out for a throw in. A lot of changes for this Portugal team. Mikel Merino and Fabian Ruiz are coming on. They are replacing departing Pedri. He's coming off for Fabian Ruiz. Mourinho is coming on for Dani Olmo. Oh, he had a good game actually, Dani Olmo. I don't think he's been too bad. So 2 subs remaining for Spain. I don't think there's anything left for Portugal unless we, of course, go to extra time. Diego Dallo is taking a throw in here. He goes long, and he gets actually the return there from a Spanish header. Chance to burst forward is, well, that is a great bit of run holding off as well. It's Lamine Yamal, of course. Who else would it be? Fabian Ruiz comes in. It's claimed quite comfortably by Costa. Nice bit of play, you know. First involvement so far in the game for the lad. He's got knocked down field then by Diaz, headed away by Cucurella. And apparently Spain's had most of the match momentum. I'm not quite convinced about that graph. I'm never quite convinced by the FIFA graphs that they've put up so far. It seems always a bit iffy to me. 4 minutes of normal time left. This game has extra time written all over it. Cucurella. Going back to Fabian Ruiz. Pedro Porro. And piling forward with the Aymeric Laporte. It goes all the way back to the goalkeeper. On rushing Ronaldo's forced a quick move by Unai Simon. The game is definitely opening up. Spain have it in midfield. This is where they thrive. Mourinho goes back to Fabian Ruiz. The substitutes interlocking together. Lamine Yamal feeds the ball in quite nicely there to Torres. And but the ball is poor, to be honest. And just slowed right down by Costa. Two very resilient defences. Bernardo Silva is forced to come short to be taking it to. And I don't know why Bernardo Silva is almost playing as like a defensive midfielder, even centre-back. I mean, his whole career he's been an attacking midfielder. Oh, step over here or there by the number 5 for Portugal. That'll be a foul. That's the first yellow card of the game. You can't have too many complaints about it. Bernardo Silva has just gone bundling in, knocking Mourinho flat out on his back. How are you complaining at a yellow card there, mate? Not attempt to get the ball at all. Not a single one. Well, entering the final minute of play with a free kick in the defensive half for Spain. And they're going all the way back with the goalkeeper, who piles it on. Headed up by Vega to Ruben Diaz. Flicked on by, Ronaldo's lurking. That header is cushioned into the arms of Simon. Aymeric Laporte was the one who was being challenged for it against Ronaldo. Fabian Ruiz has laid it off sideways to the midfield pairing. It's all the way out to Pedro Porro now. Lamine Yamal. Nelson Semedo has struggled, I think, in that duel. Extra time might be a bit cruel on him. Came on for Nuno Mendes, who came off injured. That's going to be a free kick. Yet again, Bernardo. So we've got 6 minutes of added time. There's a through ball by Ferran Torres, and it's a goal. We've seen a break, and it's Mikel Merino with the goal and crushing Portuguese hearts because they've held on so utterly well, to be brutally honest. But the substitutes, Ferran Torres and Mikel Merino, and made the difference. Spain have looked this game not 100%. It was initially when that free kick was given, it was given out, taken quickly to Fabian Ruiz. Eventually, Ferran Torres gets it. He's completely onside. There's nothing wrong with it. And yes, Mikel Merino picked his spot on the near corner. And there's nothing that the goalkeeper could do about that. And Spain, with a narrow 1-0 victory, look to make themselves through to the quarterfinals. Ronaldo looking like his World Cup journey is coming to an end. Having had such a long time at the top end of football, it's no shame of a performance. I think Portugal have had a very good game. Well, we need to have a bit of urgency now. Portugal we know so far that Spain have yet to concede a goal in this entire tournament. Nelson Semedo takes the throw. Goes to Leao. I can't believe we've actually seen a goal, to be honest. It's been such a solid, dominant defensive performance by both teams to actually have seen a goal, which was a decent goal. It wasn't world class. It was just a bit of a run of the mill, but wasn't anything defensively wrong with it. Leao has managed to win his team a throw-in from the Pedro Porro on Russian defence. And Portugal are in a attacking position here. You need to be wise about what to do with it. It's got Leao on it at the moment. It wasn't Leao actually, so it was Nelson Semedo, and they're going to break here, and that's surely going to be a yellow card, stopping the counter-attack and the flow of the game. Nelson Semedo. Was it Nelson? Not Nelson Semedo, rather. Lamine Yamal is pulled back completely from stopping any form of counter-attacking. That's a Veiga who is in the book. Renato Veiga. And so Portugal have got 2.5 minutes to get something from this. Leao is powering forward with the ball. It's got Porro for company. It forces him to go back to Semedo, who can't get a good cross in. The seconds for Bernardo Silva might be good here. Out wide with Conchal, who's not done much for this game since coming on. It's lifted up and over by, and that's actually fortunately found Leao. I don't know who it was aimed for there by Bruno Fernandes, but he somehow managed to find his teammate. It's with Ruben Dias. Every player for Portugal is currently in the attacking third. Rafael Leao goes forward. It's headed down. Fabian Ruiz clears it properly. And it's going to go all the way to Costa. I would have just powered it forward. Veiga's got it to Bruno Fernandes. Ruben Dias. Conchal. Fernandes all the way back to Veiga. Ruben Dias struggling to break it down. You've not got long left, Veiga. Trying to find the run of either Leao or of who was it? Was it? I don't know who else it was, but it was a bit no man's land caught between several players, to be honest. Iglesias seems to be coming on. Pedro Porro will take this throw in first, though, so they may not even get a chance to make their substitution. It would have been one purely to waste time, to be honest. Bernardo Silva with a crossfield ball to Bruno Fernandes. Not long left here. Rafael Leao lifted up to Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes with a long ball forward and out wide to Conchal. Cucurella needs to deal with this. The cross comes in. It's headed up onto the roof of the net. Bernardo Silva having stern words with his opposite number. I think it's going to be a corner. Well, it was definitely Bernardo Silva who got the final touch on that, so I don't know what he's complaining too much about it. Just ended up on the roof of the net. Well, Iglesias will be on the pitch by the looks of it for a grand total of 2 seconds. Absolutely ridiculous. Oyarzabal's day's over. Iglesias comes on. They'll blow the whistle as soon as this is taken. Absolute joke. What's the point in even bringing him on? What's the point? Oh, look, it's now... well, it's actually even been allowed to have a throw in here, Portugal. Well, coming forward. They're still in midfield, they're stuck. You just need to power it forward. Go on, Bruno Fernandes. It's not even Bruno Fernandes, it's someone else completely different. Oh well. Surprised this game is still going on. It has a bit of that whiff of Brazil versus Norway last night. That's going to be a free kick. Dangerous position. Conchal is the one who's gone down, and a yellow card presented for Ferran Torres. I mean, you can't really complain. You didn't get any of the ball and got the player. I know you were trying to pull out of it, but you still made the contact. You still got a yellow card worthy attack. Tackle. Right. Costa's gone forward for this as well. Seems if he gets the header which equalises this game, by the way. Still decently far out, by the way. It's taken by Bruno Fernandes. Headed on. It's wide. João Neves. And that's going to be the last kick of the game, I think. Well, Spain have gone through narrowly. But to be honest, it's been a bit of a defensive masterclass of a game. But in terms of actual goal mouth action, not a great deal. Spain managed to tip it in their favour. Mikel Merino will obviously go down for the plaudits for his performances in scoring a goal, but 7.5 for Diego Costa. We'll go through the SofaScore rankings. 5 saves in total. I think he's had a very good game, actually. I don't think there's much he's done wrong. 7.3 for Nuno Mendes. He went off injured, and you know what? He managed to keep Yamal quiet. Won 5 out of 10 ground duels. He was involved in a bit of everything. And unfortunately, when he came off injured, Yamal started growing it into the game. 6.9 for Vega. I think and 8 defensive contributions, 5 clearances, all 3 of his aerial duels he won. He was quite dependable. Ruben Dias on a 6.6. I think that's quite low. I mean, he had a couple of great interceptions, I thought, that prevented goal-scoring opportunities. So I think that's a bit harsh. João Cancelo on a 6.9. Came off for Diego Dallo, and again, sort of was very much weakened as a result. 7.1 for João Neves. I think he had some very good runs forwards, for A forwards, with the interplay between him and João Felix, and he definitely had a better second half than first half. Coutinho on a 6.6, and then came off for Bernardo Silva, of course. I thought he had a bit of a underwhelming game compared to his counterparts of Rodri, for example. João Felix on a 6.9 himself, came off for Rafael Leao. His dribbling was quite frankly abysmal, right? He had only 37 touches of the ball. He lost possession 10 times. I think he actually lost the ball more often than he gained it, to be honest. So that is a negative attribute towards him. 6.9 for Bruno Fernandes. He tried to do the long ball, find the pass forward. He wasn't always successful. 2 key passes, 2 out of the 5 crosses he had was accurate. He tried something, though, which I think is a good thing. 6.9 for Pedro Neto, so all the same rating for all of them front 3 players. I think he was exciting to watch going forward. He found himself in space time and time again. Only a 6.8 for Ronaldo, and that sort of the quietness of the game. He only had 3 shots in total, only 1 in the second half, which was a tame shot. Shows where Portugal's weakness lied. I think if they had somebody who was a ready-made replacement for Ronaldo, they would have brought him on. 6.2 for Nelson Semedo. As I said, he was absolutely annihilated by Yamal's ability. And so, obviously, since Nuno Mendes went off, it just felt that Spain would always get something from the game. 6.4 for Diego Dallo. Again, a poor game from him since he came off. Came on, rather. 6.7 for Leao. I thought he had a good game. He did a lot of overlapping runs forward. A fair bit of pace. He had that positivity and energy to him. 6.2 for Bernardo Silva, had that reckless yellow card, and that's about it, to be honest. And also that shot that was headed onto the roof of the net in the dying moments of the game. But couldn't really get a stamp on the game. 6.8 for Conchao. I thought he had a great... he was only on the pitch, for about 15 minutes or so, but his passing ability was definitely something to write home about. His work, he had 1 big chance created, 1 key pass, and the 1 cross he had was accurate. He did what was needed. In terms of Spain, 7.5 for Unai Simon. Definitely deserves to be up there to be considered man of the match, to be honest. 2 saves, all he had, to be fair. But in terms of he did the job, again, I'm talking about Spain, not actually really getting many people challenging him, challenging the Spanish defence because of how much possession they have. I think the first time we really seen Spain apply a little bit of pressure against was by Portugal, but even then, not much action towards the final third. They tended to lose possession. 7.1 for Pedro Porro. Great game from him. 9 defensive contributions from 6 out of 12 ground duels. Was dribble past both 3 times, but in terms of going forward, I thought he had a good game going forward in that regard. 6.9 for Kabassi. In terms of, I don't think he did hardly anything this game, to be honest. Just a bit of an average one. Same with a 6.6 for Laporte. Again, bit of an average game all round, to be honest. Very quiet. And a 6.6 for Cucurella, who I thought was also quiet this game. Definitely both Cucurella and Porro managed to keep the wide players a bit more quiet and at bay, so preventing crosses sort of situation. But it's that man Rodri who I want to talk about. 7.5. What an amazing, abundant, talented player he is. 87 out of 93 passes he made were accurate. 1 key pass in that stats. But, weaving that web in midfield, everything went through him. He was dictating and determining play perfectly. 6.6 for Pedri. Just can't quite be the sort of same player. He's not going to reach for heights of Rodri, not yet anyway. He had one key pass himself, but about half the amount of passes in total. So 7.2 for Lamine Yamal, grew into the game a bit. 3 crosses, none of which were accurate. I think he actually probably had, towards the worst end of games he's had this World Cup was in today. He was just marked out. I mean, since Nuno Mendes left, he grew into it though. 6.8 for Dani Olmo. I thought he wasn't too bad at times. He had a few good flick-ons, that sort of thing. 1 big chance created, 2 key passes. Your sort of iconic number 10 performance, to be honest. 6.8 for Bayenya. Fair few. He had 7 crosses, none of which were accurate. He had a fair few of them, and you got to blame Oyarzabal for that. On a 6.0, he just wasn't in the right places for me. It's 2 shots, both were missed, and one of them was a big chance that he missed as well. Just wasn't in the game. He got given a great big hype before the game because of, his obviously great performance against Austria. Didn't live up to that hype for me. Ferran Torres did get the assist in the end on a 6.3. The substitutes interlinking, of course. But yeah, he also had a shot which he did miss, but I thought he was quite positive. I don't know why he's been given such a low rating, to be honest. I thought, obviously, he had that yellow card, but I thought he had actually quite a positive game. 6.6 for Fabian Ruiz. He appeared occasionally. There's things he did. I mean, had very little time in the game to stamp any authority. Mikel Merino on the game is a 7.7. The SofaScore bias of just goals being scored is ridiculous, and obviously we're not going to talk about Borja Iglesias because he was on for a matter of like 5 seconds. So that is it for today's live watch along. We're probably going to do one tomorrow of Argentina versus Egypt. That looks like the more interesting one, and it gets knackering trying to do this day in, day out. So please do subscribe if you're new around here. I'm going to also try and do a predictions video towards the end of the week for Tier 6 football. We will have going up as posts the rest of my lower non-league predictions. The Tier 7 ones are already out. But I'll see you all when I see you. Goodbye for now.